everyone. Welcome back to Family in Focus, a radio show here on PHLV Radio, presented by the Asian Community Development Council. We come to you live every Monday at noon. So thank you so much for joining us on this Monday. And on this Monday, we're going to talk about actually a special program that is going on right now, especially to help people with who's been impacted by COVID-19 and this community, of course, in Las Vegas, actually all over Nevada. We've seen people impacted, including, of course, people in the Asian American community. So ACDC is a nonprofit that's really been just putting 110% effort out there to help people affected by COVID-19. And there's a special program that is happening right now. It's underway, being offered to offer food and rental assistance to people impacted by COVID-19. So I'm joined by staff of ACDC today who are giving us their time to spread the word. We actually want people to get this information out to as many people as possible, especially to those who may not have access to resources. If they don't know the language very well in English, so we want you to spread this in your language as well. So we want to first bring on Vice Solano. She's the Director of Family Services at ACDC. Vice, thank you so much. You and your team have been really spearheading this emergency services program. So I'm going to have you first introduce yourself, Vice, to our audience and tell us a little bit about what you do at ACDC.
Sure. Thank you, Patrania. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Edelweiss Solano, Director of Family Services at the Asian Community Development Council, and I oversee the Health Navigator Program as well as the Emergency Services Program. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako si Edelweiss Solano, ang Director ng Family Services, at nangangasiwa ako ng mga programa katulad ng Health Navigator Program at ang Emergency Services Program dito sa Asian Community Development Council.
All right. Thank you so much, Vice. So Emergency Services Program, that's what we're focusing on right now. A lot of people, of course, have been reaching out. We actually had an event just a few weeks ago at Chinatown Plaza where ACDC was helping, giving out food and, giving out information about Emergency Services Program. So tell us a little bit about this, for who's eligible and what can people get with this money that we're offering?
So with the Emergency Services Program, our goal is to provide the Nevadans who were affected by COVID-19 with financial assistance, such as with food and as well as rent. So because we realized that a lot of our community have been affected financially with the pandemic. So we are trying to, we are helping individuals who with the food and as well as with rent.
So what do they have to do, Vice? They have to apply, right, in order to see if they're eligible and who is eligible for this particular program.
Yes, so of course they need to apply to our program for us to see their and we will be able to evaluate their case, and then eligible individuals are those residing here at Clark County, and you should be able to demonstrate financial hardship because of the pandemic, such as when you lost your employment or you have reduction in hours, and of course provide the necessary documentation to complete the eligibility process, such as filling out the application form, providing your unemployment benefits letter or even your termination letter. And then for rental assistance, that is providing the landlord verification form and the W-9 and lease agreement for us to give and evaluate fully the case.
And you've been getting calls in, and you've been actually talking to clients who have received some of this help. Actually, we have some video of two people who actually gotten help through ACDC, and they spoke at our recent event. So I think we have video of that. We're going to share that now and see what they have to say.
A little bit about the help that you've gotten recently from ACDC.
ได้กิฟต์การ์ดจาก99 Ranch Market ค่ะ
So she actually got a gift card, she said, from 99 Ranch, and 99 Ranch representatives are sitting right there. So this part of the food assistance program, and you can speak in English if you like, just how much is it helping you and your family?
So much because my husband's still on furlough, and I'm only working part-time, 25 hours a week. So it's tremendous. It's helped a lot.
And just like a little bit, just with people getting food right now, I mean, how much does that help? I mean, you live through this.
So much, so much. We get help from CCSD also for the food distribution from the school. So we pick up the lunch for the kids every day. So it's every little bit help.
What are you seeing right now? The Cosmopolitan obviously still affect people have been laid off.
Yes, yes. Only half of my staff is back to work.
And just seeing Asian American groups, especially ACDC, helping the community. What are you feeling right now, just being here and seeing all this?
Very grateful for everybody.
Well, thank you so much, Nikki, for coming and sharing their story.
So I would like to introduce one of our clients for the emergency services program, which is Maria Wayman, to provide her story in which we have provided our assistance.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. At andito po ako at nagpapasalamat sa mga naging tulong sa amin. Lalo na po yung $500 sa Seafood City. Marami pong salamat ang naging tulong sa amin. At saka po yung $300 na binigay din. Maraming salamat. Lahat po. 3 linggo na pa akong pumipila dito nangihingi ng pagkain. At marami pong salamat. Ang naging tulong po sa amin. Maraming salamat, Isidis. Ayun na lang. Salamat! Maraming salamat and God bless you.
Well, that might be a little bit hard to hear, but the last client, we actually had our first client there talking, she was Thai, and she actually lost her hours working at a casino in town, and she was very thankful to get this financial help. And the second one that you just heard there was someone that, Vice, you worked with directly, and she got very emotional. Talk to us a little bit about what she had to say at the event there.
Yes, so our client has been lining up during our food distribution. So she's been a recipient of our food. And at the same time, when she applied for the emergency services program, which she got approval, then we were able to help. And she was really thankful for the assistance that the ACDC was able to provide for her. And every time she goes to our food distribution, she was with her sons. So she was really, like what you said, emotional, because she was very thankful of how we were able to help her at this time.
Yeah, and it's just so tough. You know, we're putting the word out there about this, about how people are just feeling this impact in so many different ways. You know, there are people who couldn't pay their rent right now, or they're, falling back on their mortgage and they can't get to that. They have to choose whether they are going to pay their rent, or they're going to buy food or medicine. So, I think every little bit helps, and be able to offer this kind of help is something that ACDC is doing. But of course, one of the barriers is getting that through to them, to a lot of people in the community who may not be speaking English as their first language. So I want to bring in now our ACDC Director of Communications, Jaewon Jung. And Jaewon has been really crucial in bringing in, bringing resources together to get people to, through social media or through different social media videos that we've been putting out there. So Jaewon, talk to us a little bit about that effort and why it's so important to get this services, the program information out in many different languages.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned before, Las Vegas, Nevada in general is very diverse. And just in Clark County alone, there's over 40 different ethnicities. So it's really important for us to really get out to these communities and meet them where they are. And that really means being able to provide the language services that they may need.
Yeah. And I think we have some of the flyers that we want to show people. I know we'll put it in the comment as well, but we're putting out these flyers in different languages, in Tagalog and Thai and Mandarin. And just, what is you've been reaching out, because you speak Korean, and you have actually been reaching people out in the Korean community as well. Has that been challenging? I mean, are people kind of receptive to this? And what are you hearing from people in the Korean community?
A lot of people are surprised that there's a local nonprofit providing these sort of services. So it just goes to show that it is something that's necessary, and people are looking for resources right now. I just recently went to an event on Saturday because Las Vegas is now sister cities with Ansan, which is a city in Korea. So they were holding an event there to celebrate that because the city council just proclaimed Las Vegas and Ansan sister cities. And I used that event as an opportunity to really promote our emergency services. And I talked to some of the people there. And they were just surprised, even if they didn't need help themselves. They were like, you know, I just met a single mother who can't pay their rent this month. I know someone who lost their job. And, you know, sometimes even if you can't directly meet someone that you can provide help to, they can refer you to someone that does need the help. So I think the Korean community is receptive. I think it's just about really getting the word out there.
Yeah, and as communications director of ACDC, Jaewon, you've been really kind of instrumental in helping getting the word out, you know, through social media videos and doing things in different languages. And talk to me about that, building that trust, because I think, you know, when people maybe talk to people in their own community and people they're familiar with, people who speak their own languages, they kind of are, you know, that they loosens that kind of doubt that this program can really help them or is something that's for them, right?
Yeah, so I contacted a couple of churches over this weekend as well to really provide them help. And a lot of people, sadly, are a little bit cynical about getting help because they think that, you know, there's nothing free in this world, which, you know, sometimes that's true, but nonprofits like us, we really just want to provide help, and we really want to make an impact to the community, especially during hardship right now. So yeah, I think it's just about building a connection and making it personable and really speaking with these communities in the language that they prefer.
And I know that you prepared a short message in Korean, which is your first language, right? So talk to, can you share a little and get people some information in Korean?
Sure. 안녕하세요, 여러분. 저는 Communications Director, ACDC에서 Communications Director 정재원이라고 합니다. 네, 이번 저희가 비상 서비스 프로그램을 해드리고 있는데요. 코로나로 타격 입으신 분들에게 저희가 임대료와 식량 서비스를 드리고 있는데요. 혹시 일을 잃으셨거나 아니면 힘든 일 때문에 지금 렌트나 식량을 지금 못 받으시고 있으시면 그러면 저희한테 꼭 문의해 주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 네, 저희가 새로운 카카오톡도 만들었으니 ACDC NV 아이디로 추가하시고 문의하셔도 되고 아니면 grace@acdcnv.org에서 문의하시면 됩니다. 네, 많은 관심 부탁드려요.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jaewon, for doing that. And now, speaking of you know, people who are reaching out to different communities, we also have Eric with us today. Eric Jang is the Director of Outreach with ACDC, and he's been doing a lot of outreach, especially before the election, but his work, of course, not over yet. Eric, thank you so much for being with us today and helping us to get the word out about this. I mean, you've been involved not just with pre-election, but just different programs that ACDC has done. Talk to us about people you've talked to. I mean, they've obviously, so many people have been impacted no matter what fields they're in, right?
Yeah, definitely. And thank you again for letting me join this show. So as the Asian Community Development Council, a lot of the work we're doing is two ways. One is outreach, is making sure our communities get the most up-to-date and translated messages and information. But the other way is also reflecting what the communities as a whole is thinking, or the needs, the gaps that we need to advocate for the community on a local, state, and federal level to make sure there are resources to meet the needs of our communities. And especially in this time, I always tell people that Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in our state face kind of a triple threat. The first one, of course, is the public health one, the one with the pandemic. A lot of our communities are disproportionately in the healthcare and the essential worker in the front line. The second one is the economic impact of job losses, of housing insecurity, of not knowing if you can pay rent or put food on the table. And the third one, unfortunately, is a lot of, because the rhetoric, a lot of anti-API discrimination or racism, that our community need to stand strong and stand together. So I think that's something we really want to, when we talk to our community, individuals, small businesses, families, that's something that I heard about the concerns collectively.
And Eric, I know you speak Mandarin quite fluently. Do you want to share some of this message and some of this important information, especially if people are eligible for this emergency services program?
Of course. 我们现在作为亚太社区发展协会 Asian Community Development Council， 我们的协会现在特别我们知道这个新冠病毒对于我刚刚说是3重对于社区的打击。第一个当然是公共卫生健康上面的打击，第二个是经济上面，经济上特别是房租也好，或者是收入上面，不少我们社区的居民遇到经济上的困难。第三个很遗憾的是有这个种族的歧视，或者是对于亚洲人有这样子的偏见。那我们特别作为这个社区发展协会有这个紧急救助的计划，紧急救助的计划有3项。第一个是直接的现金救援，第二个是房租的救援，第三个是这个像蔬菜水果或者是日常生活用品，我们有这个礼券去确定说我们社区里面的居民有办法在这个困难的时候，我们可以共体时间度过这个困难的时间。
That's great. And Eric, and speaking of, improving language access, I know that you've been working hard in terms of changing the law here in the state when it comes to giving important information out to people in different communities, right?
Yeah, definitely. So for Nevada, I know we've been coming on PHLV, I think, since end of last year, earlier this year, to talk about census. Census is so important for us because it shows that, for example, the Filipino communities here is the largest Asian American community. Tagalog is the largest language spoken outside of English and Spanish in our state. We know that there is somewhere between 300 to 330,000 Asian Pacific Islander living in the state. So we know there's a huge language needs in our communities as well. And then we worked into, from census, we moved into voter registration and getting our communities out to vote and making sure our voices are heard. And now the next part, the work is not done after Election Day. Our state legislature meets every other year, and the state legislative session will start February 1st in 2021. This time, I know there's a bill that we really want to have the communities behind it on language access. Since I was telling, in ACDC, we have folks from the Philippines, from China, from Taiwan, from Korea, from Thailand, from different Asian countries. And one thing that echoes across the immigrant communities are the need of language equity, health equity. What that means is every one of us, I remember when I was a kid, I have to translate what the doctor said about either for my parents or for my neighbors, and especially like prescription drug. But a lot of time it's very personal matter, and you don't want to have that burden of having to translate for the one that you care about. And then you have to, I was on WebMD a lot translating, like, what is this drug called in Chinese? What is this Chinese drug that they know in English? So we want to help and push forward this bill. I know New York has it, California has it, Oregon just passed it last year, and it's time for Nevada, especially with our huge Asian and Pacific Islander communities, to make sure there's equal access to language when it comes to prescription drugs, when it comes to healthcare access, to make sure that all our community members, no matter how fluent you are in English, you should be able to understand what drugs that your doctors are prescribed to you, to make sure that you're using it safely, and making sure that we have a more fair and equal process when it comes to our healthcare.
Yeah. And thank you for all your hard work. I know you do a lot for the community in that sense. So keep us posted on that. I want to bring Vice back into the conversation now, just getting back into this program. I know, the challenge, Vice, has been just getting this information out, whether it be through language barrier or just people don't know about this program. And I know you've been doing just everything you can. So if people are listening to this program right now, I think I wanted you to talk in both English and Tagalog about where they can contact you, where they can get information, and how soon they can get this help. And there's they need to do this by a certain time, right?
Yes. So, para sa aking mga kababayan, kung nangangailangan kayo ng tulong sa pagbayad ng renta o kaya may eviction notice na kayo, tumawag lang po kayo sa amin sa numero na 702-489-8866 or 702-772-2568. Bisitahin nyo rin po ang aming website at ang aming mga social media platforms upang malaman ang programa na ito para sa pagkain at sa renta. Magpasa lang kayo ng application form at mula doon i-assess po namin ang inyong eligibility. At the same time, kung meron kayong mga kakilala na nangangailangan ng tulong na naapektuhan ng COVID-19, sabihan niyo lang po sila at pwede silang mag-reach out sa amin upang matulungan namin sa kanilang pangangailangan. So, ang programa na ito ay hanggang Disyembre lamang, pero dahil sa madaming nag-a-apply, baka mas mapaaga ang pagtapos ng programa. Kaya maimportante na to turn in your application as soon as possible para ma-assess namin ang inyong eligibility ulit. Maraming salamat.
All right, thank you so much. And I'll have you kind of recap that for us at the end here, just with the email and phone number for people listening in. But I want to do this for the Thai community out there. So I'm going to read a little bit about what this program is about. So สวัสดีค่ะถ้าตอนนี้กำลังฟังรายการนี้อยู่นะคะและเป็นคนไทยแล้วอยากจะได้การช่วยเหลือในการทางเงินนะคะแก่ครอบครัวที่ได้รับผลกระทบจากโควิด -19 ACDC คือองค์กรหนึ่งที่เขาช่วยอยู่ตอนนี้นะคะแต่แล้วถ้าอยากจะได้ข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมแล้วตรวจสอบว่าคุณหรือครอบครัวมีสิทธิ์ที่จะใช้ Emergency Services Program อันนี้หรือเปล่านะคะส่งอีเมลไปที่ info@acdcnv.org หรือว่าโทรศัพท์นะคะเบอร์ 702-489-8866 นะคะแล้วก็ ACDC ก็อยากจะช่วยเหลือคนไทยที่อยู่ในเนวาดาเนี่ยนะคะแต่ต้องติดต่อเขาก่อนเดือน December นะคะเพราะว่าตอนนี้มี deadline แล้วเงินเนี่ยถ้าจะหมดเนี่ยก็จะหมดเลยนะคะแล้วก็ไม่มีไม่ต้องใช้เงินคืนหรือว่าไม่มีอะไรนะคะอยากจะให้ช่วยคนไทยเนี่ยหรือว่าคนเอเชียหรือว่าคนที่มีผลกระทบในด้านโควิด -19 นะคะถ้าเราช่วยได้เนี่ยก็เลยอยากจะช่วยนะคะโอเคค่ะขอบคุณมากนะคะ So that's a message for my Thai community. Hope we can help spread the word out there. Now we're coming up to the close of the program, but I actually want to talk about what's coming up next week. It's actually Small Business Saturdays coming up. A lot of small businesses, including those owned by Asian Americans, are affected by COVID-19. So I'm actually going to bring our communications director, Jaewon Jung, to come in and talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about next Monday and some special events we're planning. Jaewon? Make sure you turn your mic on for us too. It's okay.
Sorry about that. So just to give everybody a little bit of a teaser of what's going on next week, we're hosting our first ever Asian Small Business Week. And I think it's more important than ever, considering that businesses have been impacted greatly, especially small businesses, because of COVID-19. And next Saturday is actually Small Business Saturday. So we kind of put that event in the middle of our Asian Small Business Week, which is going to kick off on Black Friday so that people can get their deals in. I hope people can really help our local small businesses here in Las Vegas. We'll have a site running soon, so make sure to keep looking at our social medias so that you can get involved in this event.
Yeah. And, if there's another shutdown here in the state, of course, small businesses are so impacted by that, so we want to make sure that we highlight all the great small businesses here in Nevada and in Las Vegas, of course, to make sure they get the attention they need and the help and support from the community as well. So Jaewon, thank you so much for your effort on that. And Vice, I'm going to have you kind of recap the program. I know aside from Emergency Services Program, we have open enrollment still underway. People need health insurance, right?
Yes, definitely, especially in this time of pandemic when you'll have potential medical issues. So please come to the Asian Community Development Council, and we have state licensed health navigators who can help you shop and compare and even enroll in health insurance plans that fits your budget and as well as medical needs.
All right. And I think I'm going to have Johan help bring up all the flyers in different languages again, and we can bring that up as Vice. If you want to tell us the email and phone number again for people to contact if they're in need of food or rental assistance right now that ACDC can provide.
Sure. So if you are struggling with paying your rent or even just buying groceries for your family and just getting by in this time of difficult time, so please contact ACDC at info@acdcnv.org or call us at 702-489-8866 and just ask for any of our assistance, and then we will be glad to help you.
And as you can see, all those flyers in different languages that the team has put together, I think, maybe if you want to contact ACDC and want to get a copy of this flyer so that you can send out to people in your community, that is something you can do as well. So so we're coming to the end of the program. I just want to thank again my guest today, Jaewon Jung, the Communications Director of ACDC, Vi Solano, who's the Family Services Director, and also Director of Outreach of ACDC, Eric Jang. Thank you for providing all your hard work and your languages, and we just want to get the word out to as many people as possible that help is out there. We're trying to reach as many people as possible to give out this money. If you need money to help pay for rent, for food, for your mortgage, contact ACDC right now. Time is limited. Money could run out if you or your family are eligible. We want you to apply, fill out a form. We have people to help in many different languages at ACDC. So thank you so much again for joining us here on Family on Focus. Again, we're here every Monday at noon. Thank you to PHLV Radio for providing us this space to be able to share this important information with you. And we'll see you next Monday.